From the Minnesota Republican Party's perspective, the rally for President Trump in Duluth last week was a huge success. The chair of the Minnesota Republican Party, Jennifer Carnahan, was one of only a handful of speakers other than the president.
Our neighbors in Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, North and South Dakota have all turned red. And now it's our turn.
The president even gave Chair Carnahan a shout-out.
And Minnesota Republican Party Chair Jennifer Carnahan, who has been fantastic.
But in the days after the rally, Jennifer Carnahan posted on her Facebook page that she has faced racism from within her own party. Carnahan wrote that someone at the rally told her, quote, she was disgusting, and in the past, party leaders have told her that she was, quote, a stupid Asian, and used other racial slurs. We asked Chair Carnahan here this morning to talk about that rally and the GOP strategy for the November elections, but we want to give her an opportunity to address these racist comments. And Chair Carnahan, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I guess my question is very simple. Why would you stay in a position where people are saying these kinds of things directly to you?
Like President Trump, I don't come from the political establishment. I come from the grassroots, and I'm the first Asian female chair in the Republican Party of Minnesota. So in some ways, I'm a bit of a trailblazer, and the job isn't always easy. But racism is not a partisan issue. Its negative comments have come at me from both the left and the right, and I am energized and inspired by the people around Minnesota that I've met in the Republican Party, the leaders that I serve with, our candidates, and our opportunities ahead, and I have a ton of passion for our party candidates and values.
Okay, despite occasionally getting these comments.
You know, life isn't always easy, right? And part of the job is, you know, having thick skin, and, you know, that comes with growth. And, you know, again, I was around the state yesterday, and I get out and meet people. I'm so inspired and energized by them and what we have ahead of us and how everyone is looking to that forward goal.
All right. Well, talking about energized, the president really appeared to love that rally. He was tweeting about it for days afterwards. From your perspective, does this give you a boost to get that red sweep, that red wave that you were talking about?
That rally was such a huge opportunity for the state of Minnesota. When I walked in that arena, the electricity was high, the energy was strong, and people were so excited to see our president. And as you said, he was so excited to be a part of it. You know, and he talked to me backstage before he took the podium and had said, you know, Jennifer, if I had just come here one more time, we could have won this state. And I said to him, Mr. President, that's absolutely right. People around Minnesota love you. You come into the state, you inspire them, you motivate people to get out, and I think that gave us a huge boost for our opportunities in November.
And he mentioned that to the crowd at least 2 or 3 times, that he wished he'd come here one more time. Let's talk about these congressional races, because you did have Pete Stauber, the Republican in the 8th District. You also had Congressman Emmer and also Congressman Lewis. There are obviously other key races there. How do these congressional races stack up in your opinion?
Yeah, well, we've got 2 of the biggest pickup seats in the entire country for national Republicans in Congress, with Congressional District 8, where we have Pete Stauber, who is a dream candidate running, and down in Congressional District 1, Southern Minnesota, where we have our endorsed candidate, Jim Hagedorn, running as well. Those are both open seats. President Trump won both of those districts by double-digit margins, and our candidates fell short by less than 0.5% in 16. And we believe, being on the ground early, we are going to pick up those seats, and we could move Minnesota's congressional delegation from 3 out of 8 Republicans to potentially 5 or 6.
All right, let's talk about the people that weren't at the rally. Congressman Eric Paulson, the only Republican member of Congress who was not there, his race is also ranked a toss-up by the Cook Political Report. Does Mr. Trump pose a problem for Republicans in more moderate districts, like Congressman Paulson's district?
Congressman Paulson is doing such an incredible job leading our country and representing Minnesota. In 2016, President Trump did not win Congressional District 3, but Congressman Paulson won by double-digit margin. So he's a known entity there. People stand behind him and support him, and I think they look at him as a leader in what he's done, and we're confident that we will send him back to D.C.
All right, there was an extraordinary presidential snub of sorts at that rally when President Trump gave a shout out to Governor Pawlenty's running mate, Lieutenant Governor Michelle Fischbach. No mention at all of the endorsed candidate, Commissioner Jeff Johnson, who has been a strong Trump supporter. What about that dynamic and this August 14th primary where those two will face off against each other?
So the president, it's typical for him when he comes into states to acknowledge all the leaders. So he also recognized Senate Majority Leader Paul Gazelka, and Michelle Fischbach is our lieutenant governor. She's doing a great job. But Jeff Johnson is our endorsed candidate for governor, and he is a grassroots leader. We stand behind him. We endorsed him on June 2nd in Duluth, and we are unleashing a huge ground game to help get him through the primary so that we can elect him on November 6th.
All right, and you're saying beat Governor Pawlenty in that August primary.
We're focused on winning everything on November 6th and making Minnesota red.
All right, well, Jennifer Carnahan, thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right.